When a front-end codebase scales past 50,000 lines and the engineering team expands into the dozens, the unified architecture cracks. A single repository becomes a severe bottleneck to feature delivery. The standard industry response to this scaling pain is to chop the front end into micro frontends, partitioning the user interface to distribute ownership across multiple autonomous teams. Micro frontends are an organizational tool for managing team coordination. They do not automatically remediate technical debt or resolve messy internal dependencies. Management expects perfectly isolated, fast-moving teams. The ground reality for engineers is often an environment of hidden, overlapping requirements that prevent independent work. Splitting code into multiple repositories without establishing architectural boundaries creates a new problem. It simply shifts the bottleneck from the local build to the network. The symptoms of a poorly executed transition appear quickly. Teams experience endless versioning wars, unpredictable CSS conflicts, and cascading loading delays. This diagram illustrates the trap. Separate domain blocks like checkout and catalog immediately become entangled by shared state and global CSS. These overlapping dependencies weave independent teams back together into a fragile, highly coupled system. Successfully achieving independent deployment requires more than a multi-repo strategy. It requires explicit, enforced technical contracts between every module. To survive a micro front-end transition today, software architects must successfully navigate three specific architectural requirements. Failing to address these requirements results in the worst of both worlds. You end up with the operational complexity of microservices alongside the rigidity of a legacy codebase. The first priority is defining the integration boundary. The specific level of isolation you choose determines the technical capabilities of the entire system. The document boundary uses iframes. While this provides maximum security isolation, it creates unacceptable friction in the user experience and breaks the fluidity of a modern web app. A more flexible approach is application orchestration, relying on frameworks like Single SPA or Kionken. As shown on the left side of this diagram, orchestration uses a host shell to manage routing. It completely terminates one framework lifecycle before booting up the next when a user navigates between sections. This method works well for legacy migrations, where teams use different frameworks. However, it requires a complex, heavy runtime orchestration layer to manage these lifecycles. The third option is runtime module sharing via Webpack 5 module federation. On the right, module federation dynamically fetches and injects a specific remote module into an existing layout. It shares dependencies intelligently, loading a single component without a full-page refresh. Module federation is the current standard because it supports independent deployments while maintaining a seamless, native-feeling user experience. The second requirement is mitigating performance degradation and global state coupling. Dynamic module loading introduces the risk of the remote entry waterfall. If sequential network requests are required to fetch a component, largest contentful paint times will spike. This waterfall chart shows the sequence. The shell loads, discovers remotes, fetches the manifest, fetches the chunks, and finally renders. The result is a massive delay before the user sees any meaningful content. The mitigation for these waterfalls is mandatory route-level prefetching, combined with strict bundle size budgets for every domain team.
The secondary trap here is state coupling. Relying on a shared global store across multiple teams destroys deployment autonomy, as any change to the store's data shape can break unrelated modules. When teams share a complex data model, any change to a single schema forces a synchronized update across every consuming module. By instead using thin event notifications or simple URL parameters, teams communicate through transient triggers that don't expose internal data shapes. This is the principle of sharing signals rather than structures. Practically, this means using typed events for cross-domain coordination or establishing a backend for frontend to handle data retrieval. This architectural map illustrates a robust setup. A central shell node owns the shared state and connects to remote nodes strictly via narrow interface contracts that visually isolates the remote logic from the shell's context. Keeping the global context exclusively owned by the shell prevents cross-team state mutations and allows independent deployments without risk to the rest of the application. The third requirement is internal code-based architecture. This addresses the danger of implicit coupling through deep imports. Implicit coupling occurs when a developer imports an internal utility file from another team's domain. That single import creates a hidden dependency that prevents either team from releasing code independently. Feature-sliced design, or FSD, is a methodology structured to prevent these accidental dependencies. The FSD model organizes code into 3 vertical tiers. Layers define responsibility, slices represent domain meaning, and segments indicate technical purpose. The goal is high cohesion within a domain and low coupling between them. The critical rule of FSD is the public API gate. Consumers may only import code from a slice's root index file. Zooming in, external requests either pass through this entry point or are rejected by automated linting. This gate acts as a technical firewall. By enforcing strict contracts at the boundary, teams can rewrite internal logic without breaking dependent modules. Successfully running multiple micro frontends in production requires a shift in operational strategy. With every independently deployed module added to the system, the risk of unforeseen integration failures grows exponentially. Standard monolithic deployment pipelines lack the granularity required to manage this distributed complexity. A modern micro frontend pipeline relies on containerization. The CI process compiles individual Docker images for each module, pushing them to a registry before deploying them into isolated Kubernetes namespaces. This infrastructure requires automated safeguards, contract-first entry points, semantic versioning, and instant canary rollbacks. Without this level of automation and isolation, a single faulty deployment in one module can destabilize the entire platform. For engineering leaders considering a transition, the choice is guided by team size and organizational maturity. This decision matrix clarifies the trade-off. With only 1 or 2 teams, the maintenance overhead of micro frontends will likely outweigh the benefits. Instead, smaller teams should focus on building a modular monolith, using feature-sliced design to maintain internal organization. FSD provides modularity and clear boundaries, while keeping the code within a single, easily testable deployment. Micro frontends are a solution for organizational scale. They should only be adopted when the primary bottleneck is team coordination, and the culture is prepared to enforce strict architectural governance.